Ruby by Jennie becomes the best-selling female solo album on Hanteo in 2025 with 559 copies sold so far. Born Again by Lisa has now surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify. It becomes the first song released in 2025 by a K-pop act to achieve this. Earthquake by Jisoo has now surpassed 30 million streams on Spotify in 19 days. It is already the most streamed Korean song released in 2025. Rosé's Drinks or Coffee has now surpassed 60 million streams on Spotify. It's the first non-single and fourth track from Rosie to achieve this milestone. Jennie's Ruby enters Melon's Million Album Hall of Fame after earning over 1 million streams within its first 24 hours of release. Lisa has achieved a career high by debuting at number 8 on the Billboard Artist 100. Alter Ego has charted at number 1 on the Billboard Top Album Sales chart, making Lisa join Neon as the only female K-pop soloist in history to have an album chart at number 1. Earthquake by Jisoo has now surpassed 70 million plays on YouTube Music in 25 days. It is the most played 2025 song by a Korean artist. Rosé's Rosie is the highest charting album by a K-pop act on Billboard 200 in its 13th week, surpassing BTS Map of the Soul 7. Rosé's Rosie now holds the highest charting K-pop soloist album in its 13th week in history on Billboard 200, surpassing Jungkook's Golden. Highest charting albums by K-pop acts on Billboard 200 in their 13th week. Blackpink becomes the first female K-pop group to have multiple members reach the top 10 on the Billboard 200 as solo artist, Rosie debuting at 3 and Lisa at 7. Blackpink's Kill This Love mini-album has now surpassed 1.6 billion streams on Spotify. It is their third project to do so and the most among any female K-pop act in history. Jennie and Dua Lipa's Handlebars has gathered 5.2 million views and 708k likes within its first 24 hours on YouTube. Jennie currently holds the top 2 trending music videos on YouTube with Like Jennie and Handlebars. Highest peaks for female K-pop soloist on Billboard Top Album Sales chart in history. Lisa joins Rosé as the only female K-pop soloist to simultaneously chart on the Hot 100 and Billboard 200. Jennie's Mantra and Lisa's New Women have been added to the Grammys Women History Month 2025 playlist More Women, More Music. Jisoo's Earthquake is now streaming on NRJ Hit Music only. This is the first Korean soloist song to air on France 1 radio station since PSY's Gangnam Style. Rosé's Toxic till the End now ties Jennie's Mantra as the longest charting 2024 solo song by a female K-pop soloist on Billboard Global 200. Jennie extends her record by holding the number 10 spot on Spotify Global Artist chart for 4 days straight. K-pop female soloist with the longest time in the top 10 on Global Artist chart, Rosé with 1 day on number 2, Jennie with 4 days on number 1. On its fourth day, Jennie's Ruby has surpassed Lisa's Alter Ego to become the K-pop artist album with the highest first-week streams on Spotify this year. Jennie surpasses Lisa to become the K-pop soloist with the highest Spotify streams in history. Spotify Top Albums Debut Global, Ruby on number 2. Spotify Top Songs Debut Global, Like Jennie on number 2 and Handlebars on number 4. Spotify Top Albums Debut US, Jennie Ruby on number 2. Spotify Top Songs Debut US, Handlebars on number 9 and Like Jennie on number 10. Billboard named Like Jennie the best song on Ruby. Biggest on-demand streams debuts for albums by K-pop soloist in Billboard 200 history. Auguste D-Day with 17.93 million on number 6. Jimin's Muse with 18.75 million on number 5. Jimin's Face with 19.5 million on number 4. Lisa's Alter Ego with 23.12 million on number 3. Jungkook's Golden with 41.5 million on number 2. Rosé's Rosie with 43.85 million on number 1. Lisa's Born Again records the biggest points increase this week on the United World Chart, rising to 26 in its fourth week. Meanwhile, FUTW makes its debut at 39. Biggest streaming week for a K-pop female on Spotify Thailand Weekly Albums Chart. Lisa Alter Ego with 17.5 million on number 1 and Blackpink with 8.5 million on number 2. Biggest K-pop solo artist streaming week on Spotify Thailand Weekly Albums Chart. Jennie and Dua Lipa's Handlebars reaches a new peak of 58 on the global Apple Music charts today, and Jennie's Like Jennie reaches a new peak of 28 on the global Apple Music chart today. Jennie's Like Jennie has reached number 1 on the daily YouTube Music Korea chart with 9 million streams. Jennie now holds the following records in China this year: Best-selling female album, Best-selling female K-pop album, Best-selling female international album. Lisa's Alter Ego debuts at number 2 on Germany Albums Chart. Meanwhile, FUTW debuts at 15 on Singapore Songs Chart, marking her 7th entry. Alter Ego debuts at 17 on Italy Albums Top 100 Chart. Alter Ego also debuts on number 5 on Australia Albums Chart. Lisa's Alter Ego debuted at number 1 on Billboard Top Current Album Sales Chart. Female K-pop soloist peak on Global Artist Digital Ranking included Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Shazam, and Deezer. Jisoo on number 12. Jennie and Lisa on number 4. Rosé on number 1. Rosé previously led the global digital artist ranking for 31 days, the longest for any K-pop soloist in history. Biggest fourth day for K-pop female soloist album on Spotify Global. Biggest streaming debuts for K-pop soloist on the Billboard 200 chart. Rosé has now surpassed 900 million streams on Spotify in 2025, becoming the first K-pop act to reach that mark this year on the platform. Rosé becomes the fastest K-pop soloist to reach 900 million streams on Spotify in a single calendar year, surpassing Jungkook. Rosé becomes the fastest K-pop female act to reach 900 million streams on Spotify in a single calendar year, surpassing Blackpink. Rosé and Bruno Mars APT remains at number 6 on this week's Billboard Hot 100, extending its record as the longest-running top 10 hit by a female K-pop act in history. Also, APT becomes the first 2024 soloist song to spend 20 weeks inside the top 10 of Melon Weekly chart.